Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. Well, today, guys, I want to give you guys another tool, another perhaps option uh, in order to bring about a raising of your consciousness, a deeper understanding, illumination, and perhaps trigger Kundalini flow.
Perhaps do that, but the most important thing is we want to be aim for health. And I think that in and of itself will trigger your light body.
So what you're looking at here is the Sri Yantra. And so Yantra comes from the root word yam, which means instrument, support. And tra, derived from trana, means release from bondage. So it's basically a tool to help us be released from bondage.
Which is a really beautiful thing if you can get there.
We can. You got to stay positive now. We can. Everything is positive. We can do things. We can manifest change in our life. And so this is, it's a tool that's been used by many different people, including Kundalini yoga practitioners, as well as devotees of the divine feminine. And it's interestingly enough, when you look at this, don't you see the same sort of energetic signature as the Merkaba, the light body?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, I sure do.
So you could see that. Now, it does trigger changes in our consciousness. We recognize that we are living, well, scientists will tell you we live in a holographic universe. It's holographic. We know also from Einstein and other theosophical scientists that used to get together back in the 1920s, 1930s, and just some of the most brilliant ones too, like Planck and, so many others as well. Some of the founders of quantum physics, they used to get together and just discuss, well, what's really the nature of the universe? And the ultimate conclusion is consciousness, mind stuff. And there is a programming to the universe. And sacred geometry is one of the keys to understanding that programming, and not necessarily understanding in a left brain logical way, but again, gnosis from Gnosticism, which means to know in a sense that you have a direct experience that allows you to know something on an inner level.
Which is, that's another really beautiful thing when you get there.
Yeah, and it takes work. I mean, it takes work. You just can't, say a few words and it's all done. It's a process, and it's not something for people that don't have patience. But we can all develop patience. And in some people, this just meditating on this can trigger extreme change in consciousness. A friend of mine who is a practitioner of Kundalini yoga and a teacher of Kundalini yoga, just meditating on this on a regular daily basis initiated her Kundalini flow and changed her forever. Now, sacred geometry is pretty fascinating, and so I just brought up some shapes and asked Cindy, well, what's your impression?
Well, the Merkaba and also different shapes here can be inside of different entities. That was curious how it struck me.
That is curious. So different beings perhaps have different shaped Merkabas.
Yeah, they do.
That's really interesting. And there's a lot of life throughout this multiverse, all different forms of it. And this is Metatron's cube, which is also really fascinating and definitely, it draws you in as well. This is really cool to meditate on as well.
It is. To me, it's almost like watching a snowstorm. You just get lost in it.
Yeah, and when we blow up like snowflakes, for instance, isn't it amazing how intricate the geometry, the beauty of it? It's just amazing. But again, it's as above, so below.
It is. It truly is.
So when we look at Shiva and Shakti, so we had just done a video talking about the Ida and the Pingala, which are the masculine and feminine channels of energy that flow through the body on either side of the spinal cord. And these energies, when they are balanced and when the chakras are open, will allow the Kundalini energy to flow up the Sushumna, the central channel, and connect us not only to Mother Earth, but also, to Father Sky, if we want to use a Native American term, to Source. It's the divine union of the masculine and the feminine that allows this free flow of energy. And if we look past, Shiva and Shakti there, we see again that Sri Yantra pattern in the background flaming with it. And Kundalini often is thought of as a serpentine energy, which will scare some people of a fundamentalist mindset. But also, it's a fiery energy because it's an energy of transformation.
It really is. When you start a fire and you burn something in it, it turns it into a completely different thing, different type of plasma. So it's kind of cool.
I love this particular picture because, again, you have the masculine and the feminine. We have the lotus over here on the Shakti side, divine feminine, and also the flowering of consciousness. And the lotus, again, is another symbol for the Merkaba, as is down here at the lower Dantian. We see another symbol for the Merkaba. And here we see the Ida and the Pingala going around, intersecting at each chakra. And it's a beautiful union. When you think about it, in tradition, angels are neither really masculine or feminine, as they're a union of the energies.
And I feel that too when I see them. I feel the union. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and so perhaps that is our destiny as we go on up into the higher realms. It's to merge the masculine and the feminine within us and to become something much, much higher, a much higher level, just like the angels. And, there is the whole line of thinking that, we are perhaps earth angels that don't even realize who we are and what we are, that we have actually fallen in consciousness down into this 3D existence. And so we don't really recognize the great power that lies within and what we can really achieve as co-creators in this multiverse.
There's a lot that can be done. There's a lot that's been hidden from us too.
Purposely hidden, and purposely also they've incited a lot of fear around this on purpose. And we see it does grab the minds of many people. So this is from Gaia, and it gets into harnessing the power of the Sri Yantra. There's different techniques, but what's commonly done is basically you stare at the image, and then you could gaze at a blank wall and just see the image on the blank wall, a white wall, and you'll close your eyes as well and try to maintain that image. Try to go inside the image. Try to feel yourself being pulled into it, and it can lead to an expansiveness of consciousness. And if you ever had a DMT voyage, let's put it that way, you would see that there is a grid work to reality. There's a matrix to reality. And so this can be a tool to let you see the underlying matrix that exists in reality. There are so many people that go to South America and places for an ayahuasca experience, or a experience with perhaps mushrooms or something else of that sort. And what is perceived is this. This is often one of the things that's perceived, that underlying matrix to the reality that we experience every day. And it's freeing to actually see and experience this matrix. You get such a feeling, a grasp, again, a gnosis, not again from the left brain analyzing, but a gnosis in that experiential experience that just transforms you. It changes your consciousness, and you recognize the fact that we are part of something much, much bigger. So much of our fears that are created by different dogmas, different ideologies, especially just the whole thought that we are separate from everything else and disconnected, but we are not disconnected. This is an ocean of consciousness that we reside in, where each individual waves or drops in that ocean of consciousness, but ultimately the underlying reality is one.
So, after you gaze at this for a while and you come out of it, I feel for me what's happened is I'm able to step back and see the bigger picture and not let the little underlying things in life get to me so much. But it does take time.
It does. It most definitely does. And so the Sri Yantra has been called the Queen of Yantras. It's the symbol of the great divine mother principle, the source of all energy, power, and creativity. Again, if we look at the Gnostic version of things, we have Sophia, who, along with the demiurge, are the creative powers of this reality that we are in. The goddess energy has been buried and suppressed so much, and we have such a disconnect from that goddess energy, which we need to reconnect with to bring harmony and balance back to the world, as that has been sorely missed.
It really has. There's just a lot of things about the mother energy that are beautiful and soft and warm and comfortable that it's really been taken away.
It has been. And so I wanted to share this with you. And again, Shri, every time you hear Shri, that is referring to basically the divine feminine. And I wanted to share this tool with you. And you can buy banners on Amazon. There's woodcuts of this. There's all sorts of plaques. I have a small golden one as well as a necklace with it on it. And again, this is a symbol, a tool for transformation.
And it's beautiful and it's a divine one, and it will bring on transformation.
Most powerful. And again, it takes time and practice. So guys, thank you so much for your support over on Patreon and Ko-Fi. As always, God bless and namaste.
Namaste.